In the 24th chapter of Matthew's Gospel, we have a vivid description of the end of time. Most of these things are occurring as we speak. There have been and still are people who declare themselves to be the Christ. And sadly, there are always people who are convinced by them. Then we are told about the wars and the threat of wars. These plague our headlines daily. And then we are told about nations being at odds with each other regarding fundamental realities and necessities. Instead of helping each other, we fight each other. And while all of that is going on, there will be starvation, disease, earthquakes, and all of these are prevalent in our world. However, Jesus encouraged us to hold on because these will only be the beginning of our distress and our troubles. Then the faith of Christians will cause believers to suffer oppression and persecution, all because we embrace Christ as our Savior. Meanwhile, we will experience the appearance of false teachers who lead others to destruction. And as the false teachings cause distrust of our faith, many will become indifferent and cold toward others. This will cause many to ignore the injustices in the world. And however, it is there where Jesus gave us the final encouragement to just hold on. In essence, Jesus taught that when everyone in the world has heard the gospel, then the end will occur. People will be about their normal routines, and out of nowhere, the believers will be taken, and those who remain will face the final peril of this world. The peril will be so enormous that people will try to escape the tribulation. The greatest challenge will be for women who are expecting and nursing their babies. Their escape will be hindered because of their responsibility to their children. In fact, unless the times are brought to an end, no one would be able to endure the trials of the final days. But on that fateful day, the sun will become dark and the stars will fall out of their place. The Savior will appear to complete the gleaning of the earth. There will be some who believe that this chapter in the scriptures is depressing, but we should see it as a word of caution. We should see it as a simple warning. It is our notice of things to come. We who are believers will be prepared for the end times. In the 22nd chapter of Revelation, we are told that the Lord's return will be fast, and our readiness will determine our fate. And for believers who have embraced the standards of the Lord, this chapter is a simple reminder. For ultimately, no one knows when these things will occur. We have warnings, but we don't have the schedule. Therefore, our readiness will be the decisive reality. We need to get ready. Jesus then focused on the reality of two people who are working together. One will be found ready to go with the Lord, and the other will be left behind. The question for you today is, are you ready? Have you truly surrendered completely to the authority of God in your life? And allow me to say this, your salvation is completely separated from your popularity with others. Your salvation is exclusively your responsibility, and nothing in this world can compensate for having a lost soul. Therefore, surrender completely to Christ Jesus and allow his spirit and will to govern your life. In the next two chapters, Jesus gave us vivid illustrations of the consequences of our lack of readiness. Then he told us in Matthew 24 and 44, therefore be ready, for the Son of Man will return at a time that will be a surprise to many. There is no greater prophecy of truth in the Bible. If you can doubt this truth, simply read the news publications. Watch what is going on in the world. There are shameful developments in our local communities, in our households, and it continues all the way to the frightening realities of international conflict. Likewise, there are health concerns that science can't seem to solve. There are financial threats that are real and close to all of us. Nonetheless, God gave us the assurance that believers are never alone. As Matthew's gospel assures us in the 28th chapter of Matthew, Jesus assured all believers, I am with you always, even to the end of the world. Now, let's be honest. Isn't that good news?